Hey, my name is Jonas Olson. In this video, we talk all about maximizing lifetime value. We talk about making the first impression, doing a referral program, and how to win back customers. We've personally used these strategies to grow our pest control company from $0 to $10 million and beyond a year. So if you're ready to grow your pest control company by making the most out of every single client, then this video is for you. Let's dive in.
Hey there, my name's Leibrandt, and today I'm with Jonas Olson, who is the CEO of Pest Badger, a pest control company doing over $10 million a year. And today we're going to be talking all about service upgrade scripts. So essentially, now you've closed your client, your lead, and now, you might actually be on the door and you just sold them, or maybe you sold them over the phone and now you're at the house. And we're going to be talking about what it looks like to upsell them, to upgrade them maybe to a higher plan so that we can ultimately make more money from these customers that we just acquired. So really excited to talk about this one, and so good to have you on, Jonas.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Let me be here.
Absolutely. So I know you're actually a big advocate for this. I think I was even watching one of your podcasts and you were saying, you're like, especially on the doors, you're just going to keep selling, keep pitching more things until they say no, right?
Yeah, we call it go for no.
Yeah. Talk to me more about that.
Yeah, so typically what happens, whether it's a salesperson in the office or a salesperson in the door, especially if they're new at sales or relatively new, they get the sale and they're super excited and they close the sale, sign the customer up, and they move on. Well, no one said no yet.
Yeah.
So it's go for now. So if they haven't said no yet, like the sales guy, you're actually stopping the sales process. Mm-hmm. The customer did not. So if they haven't said no to anything yet, why not go for the next thing? So it's always go for now. So the next thing is like, okay, what can we sell them next? Like what packages to go to next? So that's what we call go for no. Always sell the next thing until the customer says no. Then you can say, okay, sounds good, move on.
Awesome. And it seems like when buyers just buy, they almost feel like this buying ecstasy. Sure. That they're in, it's like way a different,
easier to,
yeah.
Like the first sale is the easiest one.
Yeah. Or talk more about that.
The hardest sale is the first one.
Yeah.
But then they've already said yes. Then the next yes is the easiest yes to get from them.
Yeah. Talk more about that of like kind of the customer mentality and why it is easier.
Yeah, I think you've already conditioned them to say yes, mm-hmm. and they're excited about the product at that point. They probably have more pain points that you haven't even touched on yet. You've already sold them something, so they already trust you. They already like you, like the like, listen, believe, buy thing. And so they liked you. You got them to like you. You got them to listen to you. Then they're willing to purchase from you. So you got that far. You got it out of the way. So now it's like the next easiest yes is just to ask for the next sale.
Awesome. And let's now talk about more of what that actually looks like. So you definitely should keep pitching. You should have a lot of different services in your arsenal. A lot of people will just kind of get complacent and just, be really scared to sell and then end up getting the sale. And then, they're just like, oh, I'm so relieved. But what should you be saying? You just close a deal. What should you be saying after that and maybe get that next deal and upsell them right there?
So sure. Let's walk through a couple of different scenarios.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say you're a sales guy on the door, right? And you guys offer mosquito. It's so simple. Like, just say you're walking around and let's say you got them off the door, you're walking around the back, showing them the backyard, and you're signing the agreement. And then he's like, oh, you're getting eaten by mosquitoes. Like, man, who takes care of your mosquitoes around here?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, no one. Like, oh, great. Well, we do that here too. And then just upsell them to the next package. And it's that simple.
But what do you say there? Like, is it different than a normal sale? Is it more lightweight?
It's way easier.
Yeah.
Because like you said, you're already in the back door or already in the backyard. So yeah, like, who takes care of mosquitoes? And they're like, we don't have anyone yet. Oh, great. Well, we offer that service as well, right? And it's just XYZ price. We just add that to your monthly package, and then you could just have mosquito and pest vet bundle price. And they're like, oh yeah, that sounds great. 9 times out of 10, that's what happens.
Wow.
It's that simple. So that's scenario one.
Yeah.
Let's say scenario two, you're still in the field and you showed up to a job, you answered the phone, but you got out to the job. This is scenario two. Let's go with that one. So you're still in the truck, still answering calls, you get to the homeowner's property and you talk to the customer and you did the service, but you also notice, because you're the one doing the job, maybe you notice some gnawing of some rodents, right? Pretty simple right then and there to say, hey, they have a mice issue or rodent problem. So you walk up, you do your service, take some pictures, and I'll try to take 10 to 20 pictures of each job. and just use those on the door as displays, right? So walk up to the customer and say, hey, I have service in your house. I got everything that you're having issues with currently, But I also noticed this when I was out here. So you show them pictures of all the rodent activity that you saw, whether it's feces or you saw gnawing or whatever. Show them those pictures and then upgrade them to like rodent bait boxes. Maybe you saw guano hanging out their side of their attic. Maybe you've seen bats flying in. All these things that you can look for that could potentially be an upsell.
Yeah.
Let's just say you look up at the attic and you see screens missing, like on the window side of the attic, and like, you see a screen missing. You see bat guano on the attic. Like you can just upsell that. You do exclusion work. There's so many things you can upsell here. Like our goal is to make sure that the customer is the most valuable. Scenario 3, let's say you're the one answering phones, your CSR or whatever, you still answer the phones. You have a couple technicians, 4 or 5 techs out in the field. You don't have a CSR, so you're the one answering sales calls. Customer just calls in, they had an issue. Obviously, it's the same thing. Maybe you got to think of like the times of the year too, right? So let's just go with a fall scenario. And they call because they need pest control. Maybe they're having Asian beetle problems. So you go in there and so sign them up for Asian beetles. And then from there, it's like it's fall time. Winter's coming soon. You know rodents are gonna be moving in. So maybe that month you're focused on that month on upselling rodent bait boxes. It's the same thing. Like all your a lot of your customers in the same area in your area have been all having issues with this. It's getting cold outside. Everything's gonna be moving in. Like rodents, as soon as it gets cold, they're looking for somewhere warm where there's food and drink. Where's that going to be? Definitely your house. We want to make sure you seal it for the winter.
Yeah.
And like this is just an add-on service, right? It's that simple. Bundle it together. What do you need to do there? It's that simple to sell the next thing. Especially with the phone, it's just as easy in person. So those are 3 scenarios that I typically see that work well for us.
Awesome. I love that you guys aren't like randomly upselling, but it's actually very calculated and it's problem solution driven. It's not about like, okay, here's our standard package that we just have for everyone. It's like, no, I see bats in your house. They're like ants or, rodents in your attic. Like that's
why these visuals are so helpful. Like, so we always take pictures, upload them to the customers, in your CRM, make sure you upload a customer profile so they can see the pictures too. But then having them in front of you and physically showing them the pictures, like they can't say, they can say no, but they can't say they don't have an issue. And that's all you're trying to do is solve the customer's problems. That's our number 1 job.
Yeah.
Right. So that's all we have to do is solve their problem. That's what they bring us out to do for our expertise.
Yeah. No, I love that. And I was going to ask about objections, but it's actually really hard to object to that of like,
there could still be some price objections. Maybe let's just say it's a big exclusion job where it's $10,000 to $14,000, right?
Okay.
And there could be some objections there, but it's something that they're going to work out and talk to you about. And maybe the wife has to talk to the husband. But again, let's just go with current customer. Like you're not going to want to push them super hard anyway. Yeah. You don't want to lose them as a customer, but you're definitely going to offer, maybe say, hey, I'd love to come back. Me, their husband or wife, you can go over these pictures together and come up with a game plan to make sure that your house is safe for winter.
Awesome. And how many upsells should you have? Should you just cover every kind of pest control? Should you even start offering lawn care and other services?
I would say not at first. Okay. I get asked this question a lot is like, when should I start adding services? And at first, business is hard as it is and it's complex as it is. Make it as simple as possible until you get to scale. Then once you're scaled, then you could add services for sure.
Awesome. Okay. So keep it simple to start, but definitely, stay pretty general pest. So if you have like a standard package, but you can still have some basic add-ons.
If you're doing your pest control service and you notice some termite stuff going on, you can upsell termite bait stations, termite sprays, guarantees. Like there's so many potentials for just pest control only,
Yeah, definitely. And are there any like common mistakes that you notice in this area? Either like maybe techs, like early techs that make in your company or other mistakes in other companies?
Yeah, most technicians don't like to sell.
Yeah.
Or not even admit they don't like to sell, but maybe they just don't know how. So walking them through what it looks like. A technician sale is way different than a door-to-door guy sale. Mm-hmm. Like it's way different. Like it's much easier.
Yeah.
Because the customer, you're already there. The customer already trusts you, and you're selling off knowledge, and you see the problem.
You're the expert.
Yeah. So with a sales guy, it's a little bit different. They're a little bit more pushy. They have a lot more questions for you. They have to get them out there. It's way different sale, right? But once they're a customer, it's so much more easy. And like we talked about this a million times too. Like having a marketing calendar for the entire year planned out from January 1 going forward. so that every month you're working on that upsell, that everyone's on the same page, from the technicians to the office, have the same offer. Like, it's very well organized. It's just not like, hey, we're just going to do this month and then switch it a few weeks later. It's not like that.
Yeah.
We're main focus. And every single CSR should be trying to upsell that next thing. And then you got to incentivize each of your employees, technicians, CSRs to go for that next sale too.
Awesome. Should all of your technicians be sales trained? Should
Yes.
like really a sales tech?
Yeah, I agree. I think 100% they should be. That's how they're going to make more money. You know, my goal from day one is make sure that my techs are getting close to 6 figures.
Yeah.
How do we do that? It can't just be just by servicing. So I got to do a little bit of selling, you know, some, obviously they're pay for performance. Then you have their commissions for sales. They also have reviews, things like this, like stack that they can make a lot of money throughout the year too.
The first impression is so important. And I'd like you to even just touch on that of why it's so important.
Just setting the expectations from the beginning. So this ties all the way back to like earlier in the book. We talked about branding at its finest, right? Showing up with a wrap truck, showing up with technicians that are in, you know, uniform, pink shirts, pink trucks, everything matches. Your marketing matches, everything. It starts there, right? So that's what gets them to call. Your ads look the same. The marketing looks the same. That gets them to call. And then now you show up. So now you show up. This is what sets the first impression. They've already seen your branding. Now you show up. You're in a wrapped vehicle. Your technicians, like I said, are wearing, in our case, pink shirts. They look presentable. They look clean. We have standard uniforms. Everyone has to wear pink shirts or black pants. And we always like the cool like leggings almost for girls. And for the guys too, but it's just like, you know, like the cool pants that are like
like joggers.
like joggers,
Yeah.
like athletic wear like that. So it look cool, look hip, look fun. That's what our brand is. It's cool, it's hip, it's fun, it's young, and that's what you're going for. It just starts with looks for one, and then it's like now you have to leave a very, very good impression especially for the first time, and then just setting those expectations. So you walk up, you introduce yourself, you tell the customer exactly what you're going to do, right? You know, you make sure you solve all their issues. And then be very, very upfront and honest with them. Say, hey, this, you know, whatever problem you're dealing with, it's nothing's an overnight solution. Nothing's going to be a one-time fix that we can't come back for. Like, they're going to see bugs. Be very, very honest and open with them. Like, you know, if they have never had a pest control application and it's their first time, expect them to see a little bit more bugs because you're flushing everything out. It's common.
Yeah.
You know, if you see things that are starting to, a nest starting to form though, make sure to give us a call back. We'll come back for free for it. So letting the customer know like what to expect right out of the gate is step one. Like if you say, hey, we're gonna come here, we'll do this, you're never gonna see a bug again, but then we'll come back on 3 months and do it again. Like, this is not being realistic, right? Same thing with mosquito control. If you tell someone that you're gonna do mosquitoes, you're never gonna see mosquito again, obviously you set yourself up for
you can't
failure.
promise that.
It's a reduction service. So typically we can reduce it by 70 to 80%. You're still going to have a few. You're still going to have to wear, some DEET. But at the end of the day, you should be able to enjoy your outdoors. So just being very honest, go through their program with them at the door. Say, hey, you signed up for this. This is when we'll bill you. This is the times we're coming out. Show them on the agreement exactly what you're going to do from step 1, step 2, like everything from step A to Z, right? Then you go perform the service. Take pictures along the way, front yard, backyard, any issues that you see, any issues that you found, right? Do entire job, look for any potential upsells. But at this point, you're looking for an upsell, but you're just more so telling the customer the issues that you found and how do you solve them. That's what they're there to do, solve their issues. Come back, show them everything that you did, right? Say there's a wasp nest up in the air, or up on the eaves, and you took down the wasp nest. Make sure you take a before and after picture that you found it, you took it down.
Yeah.
Being very, very detailed. Put these in the customer notes so you know where they are forming. So if you have to come back, where the technician knows where it was at the house. All these small details matter. And then go to the customer, show them what you found, how you're able to solve that problem. Ask them if they have any issues, and then make sure that they're happy with the service that they provided. But then there's a step beyond that I make my guys do. And it's one act of kindness. And I don't care if the customer never sees it, ever. And that could be simple as, maybe they had an Amazon package left at the front garage door. Just tell them, hey, Mr. Customer, I saw an Amazon package over by the garage door. Would you like me to grab it and bring it to you?
Yeah.
Something like that. Maybe their garbage can was just dropped off. They want to, and you saw it drop off. Like, I'll make sure my technicians grab that and just bring it up to the house for them. If there's, dog toys or kids toys, pick up the kids toys, put them up on the porch. It's simple things like this that go a long way. If they have a hose that's stretched out across the lawn, you don't want your techs being there for 20 minutes, like blowing off leaves, off the front yard, but it's something like that. Like, do you have a little blower that you can blow up the front porch, anything like that could go above and beyond a normal service, we make our technicians do.
Awesome. Yeah, Tommy Mello kind of famously says play with the dog and maybe bring some dog treats.
That's a great point. We do this, and I haven't even got to the section. UPS started that a long time ago. They have dog treats always.
Yeah.
I think half the reason is because they get bit by dogs, so they're trying to be friendly dogs and trying to. But then also is you want to get acquainted with that dog. Pro tip. If you can get the dog's name and put it in your notes for the next technician, or so that you remember when you go back there, say, hey, how's Fluffy doing? Like right there, it's like, oh my God, he remembered me. How cool is that? Simple things like that. Great. Back in the day, we do a welcome package. It's changed now. We still do it. This is early on. They can do this relatively inexpensive. We would send out a welcome package in an envelope. So we get an envelope put together, and back then some lumpy mail with a fly swatter, had our insurance in there, had our some 5-star reviews in there, had some coupons. Like back in the day, people loved coupons. Like every time a customer would sign up, we would put this envelope together and send it off to them. Now that everything can be automated, you can send them brownies, you can send them anything that you want. Dog, you get branded, which we did. We got branded dog treats that you send to anyone. We actually create welcome packages in-house, put them together for all new customers. We keep them in the garage or keep them in the van. We get to new customers, we drop it off after their first service. In a perfect world, I would like it there 24 to 48 hours after, and we've done this before. Another location that I told you about too, Danny, is that we got a company called Mosquito Crush, and their trucks are wrapped orange. So after every first start, we would leave a can of orange soda, like Crush, soda, just to be different. It's something that they didn't expect that a pest control company to do. So if you can wow them on the first service, well, not only your service but your customer service and in the office, your brand, everything, the odds of that customer leaving, even if you messed up, man, but they were so good on the first service. They gave us all the stuff. They remember my dog's name. They gave us this welcome package. I'm going to give them another shot.
Yeah.
So you might lose them eventually, but you'd have to really, really mess up, and they're willing to give you a few more chances than if you just screwed up once and they got rid of you.
Awesome.
So this is how you retain your customers. This is how you fix churn. And we haven't talked about churn a lot, but this is where churn is fixed right here.
Yeah. What would you say the actual, maybe give an example or just explain further of the actual value of this and how this would be reflected in retention of maybe you, just because of this first visit, you'd keep the customer normally a year, but this would actually result in a 5-year customer. Yeah.
You're never going to get rid of churn completely. People move, people pass away, people, whatever, right? There's a million people lose their job. There's a million reasons that churn occurs, and you never get rid of it completely. But if you can reduce it by 3% and you got 10,000 customers, that's a pretty big, massive move. So if you can, again, going back to what I said, this one thing, if you messed up 1 or 2 times, they're gonna forgive you. So maybe you didn't lose them after the first time you messed up, but give you an additional year. Now you just basically double or triple your LTV from that client by this one thing early on. So let's just say your average customer stays with you for 3 years, but they were going to cancel a year later, but this one thing, this really, I really want to give these guys a shot. They give you a second opportunity. You kept them for 3 to 5 years. It's a massive win. Yeah. And it's not going to cost you a whole lot of money up front, Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think a good word for that is goodwill.
Yeah, absolutely.
You are providing so much value, so much care that you allow, that allows you to make some mistakes because the service won't be perfect. The technician won't be perfect.
It's never gonna be perfect.
Maybe you're a little bit late. Maybe whatever happens, you don't get the bugs away just as fast as, the person wanted them to, or just as much as you promised. So establishing that goodwill gives you a little leeway to make mistakes because they're bound to happen.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up too, because and most people do this now too, but making sure that you're doing your call aheads, whether that's the morning of, sending out text messages, phone calls, just let the homeowners know when you're coming so they can plan to be there. Give them that window, show up during that window if possible. If you're running late, make sure you send them a text. We always make sure that automations go out when the technician leaves one job to the next, like, hey, we're on our way. We'll be there, the next 15, 20 minutes. They can expect us. Try your best to arrive in those like that arrival times. You're never going to be perfect, I understand. But the more upfront and honest you are with the customer too, like, hey, ma'am, if you notice running behind, call them, hey, I'm running a little bit behind. This job took a little longer, but I will be there. Like, they're going to be so forgiving for you. But if you just don't show up, this is what pisses them off,
Definitely. And now let's jump into mistakes that people make regarding this. And like, I know a lot of people even get in the weeds of this, of like, you can't have a beard and everyone has to wear the exact same outfit. Like, how nuanced do you guys get with this?
I mean, if I could grow a nice looking beard, I probably would, but I can't. I can't even grow hair on top of my head. So I don't care what obviously they got to look presentable.
Yeah.
If they have a beard, make sure it's manicured, looks good, not just sloppy. But yeah, appearance matters, unfortunately. That's just the truth of it. And so we have to look well presented at all times, girls, guys, it doesn't matter, wearing proper attire at work. And just doing all the simple things that you can do. Something so easy too is to leave a note on a door hanger. Let's just say the customer wasn't home. They didn't see you, and you left them a little, like, we have a technician, she's so good at this. She'll leave like a paragraph note of what she found, what she did, and like, you would not believe how many gifts in like food, drinks, tips that this girl gets. Wow. It's absolutely unbelievable by doing these simple things. And it's like putting your door hanger on the door, putting your stake in the yard, lawn signs, like leaving any messages, for the customer notes that they can see, oh, you did the job. That's another thing, like making sure you're leaving detailed notes in the customer's report. So if they weren't home, that they can see it in their documents, so they know exactly what you did. Make sure you're uploading pictures. This stuff goes a long way. Yes, we want it as a company, as the owner, to make sure that our technicians are doing their job, but the consumers always want to know what happened too. So the more pictures you take, the more notes leave, the better off you are. And know that, hey, maybe they weren't here very long, maybe they were here for 12 minutes, but they got all this stuff done and they left me this note, like, they're going to be happy with you,
Awesome.
And that's another thing, like, I'm going on a rapid trail here.
No, go ahead.
Another mistake that I see is, besides not calling or, not even knocking on the door, not talking to your customers, like we might have said this before, but it's really easy to fire Pest Badger, but it's really, really, really hard to fire Jonas that's been here for 2 years.
That's so good.
So we talked to so many other companies and like, oh yeah, but I just really like the technician. He's been here servicing for 3 to 5 years. They know him by their first name. Like maybe they invite him over for dinner or whatever. Like they're close, so it's hard to fire Jonas as a technician, but it's really easy to fire Pest Badger as a company. So, it really, really goes down to like the technicians in the field are the front lines for us and know what's going on with the customer, what the customer is saying. So just being very diligent about how your customer services across the board.
That's such a good point. So you, in that way, you really have to hire great technicians because those are the ones that are actually going to be a big part of reducing that churn.
Yeah. So when, again, going off on a tangent here, but like that's when we're hiring, we're looking for people who have empathy. And this is why I can teach you all the skills, but as long as you're bought in culturally and you have some empathy, we can teach you the rest.
Yeah.
So if you care about your customers, like they're going to care about you.
That's what matters most. Yep. Jonas, I know you love referrals. This is how you guys are growing your business so rapidly. One of the many ways you're doing it. And I know you're doing a big giveaway right now and you're just taking pictures with luggage and stuff and such. So I know this is super relevant to you. I know you love this. And I remember I think this was on a Pest Control Millionaires call like a week or two ago. You were saying that you could potentially grow a pest control company to $300K a year just through referrals. So this is a really exciting topic, and who better than you to interview on it?
Cool. Well, thanks for having me here. I'm excited to talk about it. This is one of my favorite strategies to grow the business, especially early on, and obviously even today, it just works very well.
Yeah, definitely. So let's get into it. Like, why are referrals so important, and really, actually, how are they so valuable?
Yeah, I mean, it's the easiest way to get customers, and the best way to get them is like obviously just ask, right? But then from there, like that, the odds of that person signing up, like they've been referred by a friend, are pretty good. I'd say over 80%.
Wow.
Again, you're not paying Google, you're not paying, Facebook, you're not paying your sales guys, you're paying your customers, which is who else better to pay, right? Well, so there's multiple ways we can go, like give them. We can talk about this, but it's an easy way to solve the customer's problems, and then the customer's friends and their family members, and they get to win as well at the same time.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, I guess let's jump into what you're doing right now, talking about giveaways. What are you doing for your giveaway, and how does that work as a referral program?
Yeah, we can chat about that. So this goes back. We've been doing giveaways for years. So I think the first time we ever did a giveaway strategy was actually was the iPhone 8.
Wow.
So this takes us way back. So we've been doing giveaways for a really long time with our customers, and so we want to incentivize our customers to post on social media. We want them to TikTok, or not so much TikTok, but Instagram, Facebook, share our links, share with their friends, and we try to incentivize them to share their referral links or tell their neighbors, so that we can obviously grow the company and reward our customers. So we've been doing this forever. The first time I did it, I was like, as soon as I heard the idea, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be massive. And it was. Like, I think at that time we were actually promoting reviews with it, which back in the day, we weren't technically paying for reviews, but we were giving away a giveaway for reviews, and it worked so good. It was amazing. I think like within the first week, we had a couple hundred reviews. Wow. Or maybe it wasn't quite that much, but some of them were, it's a lot. And so that's where it started. And then it's evolved. So currently, I've heard so many people like doing these big things at bigger companies, giving away cars, like give away a lot. We're actually giving away a $3,000 trip as we speak. It's going to run all summer long, of course. We're going to keep promoting it throughout the summer. But in the last 7 days, I think I told you we've had I can't remember the actual number, 149. Is that what it was?
I think 48,
148 referrals that had already converted to 47 or 49 sales within 7 days.
That's crazy.
And we just launched this thing. Like, I just posted on social media today. And so like we hadn't even put it on our Facebook. We just sent it to our customers for the first time. So it worked extremely well. I didn't track that revenue, but just on average contract value is $1,000. So roughly, $47,000 in the past week just from the
That's so nuts.
That cost us zero money. Obviously, it's going to cost us for the trip. We capped it at $3,000, but they get to choose where they want to go. And so what happens is they get the referral link. We track the referrals. We take all the referrals at the end. We're going to put them into a wheel, like we always do, a digital wheel, and we'll do this live so everyone can watch. And wherever the thing lands, this is the winner. We're obviously going to go out there. This is the great thing about doing this stuff. You can use it for so much different, right? We're going to go out there. We're going to create content around this thing too.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Me with that content. So we're going to go out there, we're going to create content with them. We're going to show them holding their backpacks or whatever, take a picture of their family so we can use it again for next year. You saw me yesterday. I was outside taking a bunch of pictures with my kids' backpacks and luggage. It had the Disney theme on it. It had me standing in front of my car, like I'm packing, and I did a bunch of different pictures too, which one would work best. And I used a couple throughout the year or throughout the summer with my kids. But this strategies just work, and this is what helps grow the company. Like, they're sharing their link on social media, then their friends are seeing it, and their friends are seeing it. Anyone who has pest issues gets to sign up, and they get a discount for their initial, because we're not paying anyone to do this other than our customers. So maybe you give them $50 in cash. Like, I think cash works best. And when you have like a software, and I'm going to shout out to one of my buddies with Clicky, it's amazing software. I've been saying for years that there need to be something like this, and Kendall did it, and he's crushing it. And this is why you can track every single link. Each customer has their own link, and the customers get to track them. And so then you run a competition in the background, they can see like a leaderboard of who has the most for the summer. So we're gonna take all those referrals, put them in a bucket, and we're gonna go send someone off on a cruise or wherever they decide to go.
That's awesome. So yeah, I want to get just so I'm clear on this. So is it that every referral someone gives to, a friend or so, that acts as like a ticket? So you could have like 10 tickets that you're more likely to win?
Yeah. So every time someone gives a referral, not only do they get paid, they get paid, I think it's like $1 for for every link that's clicked.
Okay.
But then it also tracks when that customer signs up. When they sign up, it gives them, I think we do $50 or $100, don't quote me, but $100 not off their service in cold cash. It gets Venmo from our account to theirs. Automatically.
Including the giveaway.
Giveaway.
Dang.
So they're getting paid to be, like partners, right? With us.
They're affiliates.
So they're getting paid to be, that's a good word. They're paid, they're already a customer of ours. They're paid to be affiliates. And now we're driving them with a giveaway to do it even more. We're incentivizing everything from CSRs to sales guys to technicians to your C-suite executives. They all need to be incentivized to hit that next level. And that's just how you do it.
And do you think that's typically what works best of like $50 to $100? Do you think every company should implement that? I'm
not telling you I'm just saying what we do and what works for us. We've played with it a lot. We've given out $50 off their free service, given them free initials. So we used to do like a free initial for the person that, or maybe it's a free service to the person that gave the referral, and then a half off to the person who got the referral. So like say it was $200, we knock off $200 and do for initial for $100 and do a free service for the person who referred. Again, like this is how you grow a business really fast. So I did a whole YouTube video just on this. I talked about it in our classes. Like you go sign up 5 customers. Of those 5 customers, say, hey, do you know 3 to 5 people that could use my services? Like you just showed up, you just killed it in their first initial service. They like you. You're like, hey, I'm glad I can solve your problem. They know who you are. Maybe you're local, right? And say, hey, do you know you got 3 or 5 friends that you can give me a list of that all use my service? And they're like, oh yes, I'd love to. And they give you 2 people. Well, cool. They'll like walk you to the neighbor's house, honestly. We talked about that before, but instead they give you 3 people. Of those people, you're probably going to close 2 of them. Let's just say you got 10 jobs, like I said, that's 20 extra people. Now those 20 extra people, you do that. Now you have 40 extra people. And it just spirals. So it's from 0 to 3, 500,000. It's so fast just by doing that. But now it's all trackable. Like they can literally share their link with thousands of people. You get a few people that have some pretty big following. It can get wild. And they can make a lot of money doing it, and it helps grow your company. Yeah.
And I think the great thing here too is you were more so mentioning like, first or second service, newer customers. But for some companies, I'm sure there are companies out there that are fairly large, maybe $100K to $1 million a year, and they don't have any referral program. Talk to me about like implementing that for a big company.
Yeah, it's a massive win. Yeah. Like, again, we're going to rewind this thing to the churn video. Okay, let's just say, company A versus company B, right? Company A, white vans, just shows up, does a good service, and then they leave. Versus company B, who's branded well, does a great service, everything's the same. Then you stack on this giveaway. This company B is branded well. They're also giving away a car, in this case a trip.
Yeah.
Like, which one do you think is going to retain more customers?
Oh yeah, they're
going to want to come back. And I honestly think you should do one every quarter.
Wow.
I honestly think you should give away one every quarter, even one at least twice a year.
Yeah.
So it keeps people engaged. Like, do you think they're going to want to leave to go to another company if their family member or friend just won a trip somewhere?
Yeah.
No. You'd have to really screw something up bad for them to want to leave.
Yeah. And I even like the referral aspect is like the best thing you could get out of something like a giveaway. But I even think it'd be worth it just for people to post on social media, like even just like baseline brand awareness. And that would be part of PR.
Yeah.
Like, so, if, I don't know, maybe you're looking for other angles of this, or if you're already investing in PR and you believe in that, but you're not implementing referrals, like this is part of PR.
Yeah. I love PR. And obviously this is part of it, and grows your entire brand for very, very little money.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's insane. So would you say that giveaways are the best strategy, and that's what everyone should be doing?
I wouldn't say they have to go give away a $3,000 trip today. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying work your way up. But the referrals is an easy way to grow your company, even when you're just starting out. It doesn't cost you any money. You don't even need software. Just say, hey, if you know anyone, could you give me 3 phone numbers of friends or family members that could use my service? It's that easy. And they're like, yeah, I'd love to. Cool. Shoot them a text message right there on the spot. Like, hey, this is Jonas Olson for Pest Badger. Just send me over those referrals when you can, or whatever, or ideally get them on the spot. But if they're busy, maybe they're not home, just still ask for them, Send out an email or text campaign, anything like that to get them to give you referrals. And again, just say, knock off half off your service for now, or do your service for free your next time. If you give me, for every service, that's everyone that signs up, So let's just say you did it for free, right? For every person that signed up for them. Now this person's getting pest control, let's say 4 times a year for free, cost you $400, but you just got, 4 of the people that are worth, $4,000. Was it worth it? Yeah, it's $100 customer acquisition cost. I'll do that all day long.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's about the ROI. So don't worry about I don't want to spend money for those kinds of customers. Well, no, but I mean, you're already spending, more than that on Google or on Facebook or these other platforms. So it's literally just about the customer.
I'd rather give that customer acquisition cost to the customer than to Google.
Yeah.
Why? Because I want to obviously incentivize my customers, but I don't want to have to give Google more money, but I'm, have to.
Yeah.
But if I can give that to the customer, incentivize the customers all day long.
I think that customer would also stay longer with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they just gave you 4 referrals that made you $4,000. Then they're getting the service for free. What do you think they're going to do next year?
Oh yeah, definitely. No, they're just going to keep doing that.
They'll keep doing that.
Yeah.
So so you don't have to be a big company to do this. You can it's almost easier right out of the gate to do it small. This is an easy way to grow a company fast.
Yeah. No, especially with really any existing client base. If you have 10, you can turn that into 20. If you have 100, you can turn that into 200. So absolutely love that. And then we'll close off here with biggest mistakes regarding referrals. Is it just that people don't really set up a program, or what are the biggest mistakes here?
Yeah, I would say just not implementing is the biggest mistake. 2 is not having a way to track it. And if you have a CRM, just make sure that you put in the CRM where the referral came from, just to make sure you're tracking it. So that would be the 2 biggest mistakes. Other than that, I don't think there's a whole lot of mistakes that really you can make. I'd have to really think about it, but those 2 things at the top of my head, just not having one in general is a massive mistake.
No, that's why I mentioned
it's a couple $100,000. I'll just go with 10,000 or 100,000 or even $1 million mistake.
Wow. Yeah. So make sure you set up a referral program for your company. You're losing out on money, and you can make more money from your existing customers instead of, battling to, get more, just, pay more money to Google and Facebook. No, your customers, there are plenty of them that love you and want to give you more business and actually make some money from that as well.
Hey guys, real quick, if you guys are really looking to grow your pest control company, check out what we do at pestcontrolmillionaires.com.
First off, let's just talk about why it's so important to keep customers paying. I mean, this seems pretty obvious, but keeping customers on an annual basis and keeping them even, 5 years is much bigger than 1 year or 3 years, right? Yeah,
for sure. So obviously we've already paid for that customer. Let's just say easy number, customer acquisition cost, $150. Lifetime value, let's just say you want them to be $3,000, $3,000 to $5,000. So yeah, they just stay for a year. That's only going to grant you $1,000. So your LTV to CAC ratio isn't that great, but the longer that they stay, the better that percentage gets. So the longer, obviously, the better. So we paid $150 for that customer. It made $1,000 back. Not the end of not terrible, right? But now we had if we paid the same $150, they sit for 3 years or 5 years. Now we made $3,000 or $5,000 of that client. And potential to upsell them to the second and third offering. So maybe that $3,000 goes to $6,000, or maybe it goes to $20,000 with some insulation or some anything we can do like that. So there's obviously the longer the customer, the better. The sticky customer is what we want. So that's right out of the gate. I mean, you want your ad dollars to go as far as possible. Yeah. For people that don't know, just briefly explain what LTV to CAC ratio is. So LTV is a lifetime value, which is how long they stay with you on average. So let's say they stay with again, simple math. Say they stay for a year. Your average contract value is $1,000. The lifetime value of that client would be $1,000. CAC is your customer acquisition cost. What did it take to actually purchase that customer, whether it's a referral, whether it's online, through whatever means you're doing? You got to track that cost. So let's just say it costs you $80 online. Then you're gonna have some, let's say you have a sales guy or commission cost in there, add that in, and let's just say it's $100. So your customer acquisition cost $100, and your LTV CAC is $100 to $1,000. From CAC being $100, your LTV being $1,000. Awesome.
So when this comes to recurring charges, we've already talked about different service plans, and really every company and every area can be different. So there's not really a one size fits all, but how can we make sure that customers keep paying? So, maybe we have them on an annual contract and maybe it's coming up and they're unsure about it, or they just got charged and they're like, hey, wait, I'm not sure if I even wanted to keep paying. How do you approach that?
Yeah. In a perfect scenario, like we're going to sell them an unlimited lifetime package. Like we don't want we don't want the customers to stay for a year. We don't want them to stay for 3 years. We literally want to service them until they die. Until they move out of the house. Hopefully then we can convert the new homeowner to keep the pest control. That's perfect world. So I like to just pitch it that way. Like, hey, we want to be, us to be a lifetime customer. So again, we don't try to sell them like a 12-month agreement or 1 year agreement. Like we're not trying to do that. We're trying to keep them for a lifetime. So we're gonna put them on an annual agreement, like I said.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna keep showing up every single year until they cancel. And so whether you're doing monthly or bi-monthly or quarterly services, it doesn't matter. We're just gonna keep showing up. But there is cases like, especially the old guys listening to this, the old school dudes, they do a lot of like triannual or biannual or one times. And those you almost have to resell every single year because you have to send out a letter that you're coming. Like, so again, I know a company that because I purchased them a few years ago. They had 5,000 clients, and every single spring, this CSR girl would call every single customer and say, "Hey, we're coming out this year." And she'd make a yellow pad, like Exxon, like yeah. So there's still lots of companies that still do this. Obviously, I don't like that model. I just like to show up every quarter on the schedule and continue service team until they call and cancel.
Okay, so there's not like a recurring contract they have to keep signing or anything.
So
just keep hitting their card, but don't make it a big deal.
There is different scenarios. So like in the Midwest, lawn care is a good one for this, and then mosquito is probably another good one for this too. Termites could be annual agreement. You have to go out there do inspections. Same with bats. There could be something in there too where you have the annual agreement. Again, I still like to put those cards in file, charge them. That in the off season, January, February, and the slow months, make sure you're charging all those, let's say you charge $200 for an inspection, you go there doing the inspection, charging their card. So there's nuances like that. So let's go back to the mosquito and lawn care example. A lot of these customers, they're like your biggest churn is going to be in early spring when you're sending out renewals. Again, we send out renewals to these customers every single year. We typically give them a discount for signing up, right? For prepaying for the year. So you're gonna have a lot of customers that want to pay for the year, give them a discount. We do that. Doesn't mean you actually have to give them an actual discount, but hey, you have to cover your charge for your interest. You gotta factor that into it too. So adjust the price accordingly. Yeah. So there is this example where we send out prepay emails. Hey, would you like to sign up for the year? Obviously, the best churn rate, I talked about this a lot too, is prepayments. Yeah. Like the odds of them wanting to cancel and they paid for the year and someone showed up, it's slim to none. So the best churn rate is always prepay by the year. So sending out those, let's say again, we're using mosquito and lawn care in this example. I say lawn care, like fertilization, weed control. Yeah. It's a known thing. Yeah. So you let everyone know we're coming back out, doing the services, offer this discount for prepaying or for sign up for the year again. And you're always going to have more churn there because customers want to go somewhere else or whatever. But these are some tactics that you can do to keep those customers happy.
Awesome. Just curious, do you ever do more than a year contract? Should you ever consider that?
I think a lot of companies do multi-year contracts or agreements. And that's so they can hold them hostage and then they call and get pissed off. And I'm not talking they have a reason for this and they're massive companies for a reason. Yeah. I'm not talking bad. That's not the philosophy that I like to run with. Yeah, you can. I come from the world of not having, I've literally been taught not to have a contract. So people are sick of contracts, whether it's phone contracts or AT&T, not AT&T, but wireless internet, whatever that they may be. Everyone's in a contract and you call cancel and they're holding you hostage. You got to pay $600 to get out of it. It's just annoying. And then you're pissed off and it's just not a good way to hold people. In pest control lawn care, you have to have an agreement on file, just saying that, hey, you guys sign that I can come do these services, right? By law, you have to do that by the state. Holding them to the contract, we can talk about that all day long, whether it's right or wrong. But the world that I come from is to not have contracts. So if you're in a heavily knocked area or heavily sales area, and you don't do contracts on your flyers or your every direct mail or your postcards, probably could help out in a way because they don't want to be locked into a contract. And yeah, we could talk about that all day long. So, but that's my thoughts on it.
Yeah. No, explain the difference between like a contract and agreement. And should people lean towards agreements?
Yeah, I think even the sales guys still call them an agreement, whether it's a contract or not. So the contract is basically saying that, hey, you're going to have to pay if you want to get out of this thing early. Some companies, it's 80% of the contract value. So if you bought this thing and for $1,000 and you wanted to cancel after the first service, you're going to owe $800. Like so then the agreement is just in place. Like the state says, hey, the first time you ever service them, you have to have a mutual agreement between the customer and you that they agree to have you come to their property and service. That's a mutual agreement. It's just the first time you've ever serviced their house. It doesn't have to be every year. By the state Department of Ag makes you do all this stuff. So just showing up, and the agreement is like if they want to call and cancel for whatever reason, you're just going to let them go, and hopefully you'll win back their business in the future. And that's just the model that I came from that I like. I don't want a bad reputation, like especially online, and that's just my philosophy.
Yeah, no,
whether
definitely.
that's right or wrong, it's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, and it's totally worked out for you. Last question I have for you is biggest mistakes in this realm. Like, you kind of mentioned some already of, maybe you just do a one-time service, you don't get them on the annual, but just overall,
I think even just early on, just not having an agreement in place is probably be the biggest mistake. So you don't have any verbiage in there. And there's so many things in the agreements that you have to have. There's a lot. Like I had a podcast I was with Phil, with my lawyer. Go listen to that thing. Like he'll talk to you like through all the things you should have on your agreement. Making sure like if you want to do like social media, you want to take pictures, like have all that in there so that they know that they sign. I'm going to have pictures of your house. If they say you had a pissed off customer, they took a picture of their house. Obviously, you're not going to take a picture of their address, anything like that. But let's just say you had that. Well, they had a signed agreement. And then just making sure that the customer knows that, what they're paying for up front, discount, whatever they may be. But I would say the biggest mistake here would just be not having an agreement in place, and a good one.
Okay, awesome.
Have a lawyer write this, not me.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, yeah, we are not lawyers. This is not legal advice. I feel like we have to say that.
For sure.
Today, we're going to be talking all about how to win back customers. So this is a very, a very frequent issue. This happens all the time. Customers are bound to cancel and they might switch to another pest control company. They might be trying to do it themselves. It might be too expensive. And we're going to be talking about all these customers that you lost, how to get them back. So I'm so excited to jump into this one with Jonas. And yeah, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, awesome. I think, again, we talked about this before. You're always going to have cancellations. Unfortunately, that's just part of it. Our job is to reduce churn and, increase retention. So there's multiple ways to do this. But yeah, now we're talking about like customers that have actually physically canceled. We try to save them on the phone. Didn't work and they canceled a year ago, or maybe we tried to sign up in the spring, they didn't come back. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now, right?
Awesome. Yeah, 100%. I'd like to cover just briefly, because we're not going to dedicate a whole video to this, but how can we first prevent these cancellations ideally? So someone's thinking about canceling, they're constantly, hey, I think I'm done, whatever, too expensive. How do you prevent those cancellations in the first place?
Yeah, I think just having a good conversation with the customer if you can. Some of them want to, text or email and trying to save those, but always give the customer a call. If you have a branch manager, maybe you're going to send that branch manager out to talk to the customer in person too. There's multiple ways to save the customer, but just try to figure, most people just want to be heard, right? That's where it starts. So getting them on the phone or getting your branch manager or technician or yourself, depending on where you're at in business, out to their house to see if they can't solve the problem and make sure to fix that relationship. I always like to figure out what made them sign up with us in the first place, right? That's usually what I'll ask them. Why did you even want to sign up for this? They're going to tell you that the issue that they're having, maybe you solve the issue. Now they're not seeing any bugs. And then it's your job as, whether it's you're the manager, technician, or whatever, is to tell them like, yeah, glad that we were able to take care of it. And this is how we're going to prevent that from happening ever again. Because people think of pest control as a retroactive versus preventative, right? So reactive versus proactive. So we just got to educate all of our customers why they still need pest control.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you kind of covered it here, but just to be clear, like what are some of the biggest reasons people cancel?
Yeah, there's a million. And like if someone's moving, odds of you saving them.
Yeah.
But I hate saying this live, but customers lie too.
Okay.
And so like you can get really creative here and you can look up, on the phone, you could look up if the person's actually moving, if their actual house is actually listed. If you choose to call them out, it's up to you. But reason being said is because there's a lot of door-to-door companies out there. You got some savvy sales guys that'll pick up the phone and try to cancel for the customer. So you just want to make sure you're talking to the customer, whether that's they have to call them from that phone number that's on file, or at least know the last 4 digits of the card's on file. Things you can do to help reduce those things from happening. You actually want to have a customer cancel themselves and at least give you an opportunity to talk through it. And there's other customers, and I don't need to go down this rabbit hole yet. So I'll ask the next question.
Yeah. Okay. So now let's say they have canceled. Yeah. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, they have canceled. How can we start to win back? And maybe like the first stage of that win back, the next month or so. What does that look like?
And so that's where I'd like right away, like within, like I said, we're gonna try to save them with the phone, send a branch manager. Let's just say that doesn't happen. Maybe let's just say they're unhappy, right? Maybe it's too expensive or they got switched over. Like our goal is to just constantly have a campaign going in the background, which is like a nature nurture sequence. Maybe you give it you've already paid for your customer acquisition costs at this point. So how do we get them back? Could you give them a discount? Could you send them text campaigns, email campaigns, whatever that may look like throughout the entire year? So let's just say that they canceled because they weren't having issues, but then you're constantly putting them, let's just say, get a good example. Let's say you're doing a drip campaign where they see you twice a month. You talk about the bugs of the month or the problems people were having, what issues are going on in the community, things like that. And you're constantly top of mind through email campaign or text campaign. And all of a sudden they have an issue come fall time with stinging insects, or maybe they're having issues with mice or rodents. And, so like you've been campaigning them throughout the years, they canceled last year. But again, go back to what you said. I like to start this like almost 2 weeks out of the gate.
Yeah.
And then having a drip campaign every single month, constantly tell them like what the issues they're dealing with. And then let's go fast forward. They're having issues in the fall with rodents and like, oh man, I'm having a rodent problem. I'm going to give these guys a call. They've seen texts, they've seen the emails come through, and they call you back, and you actually can win back quite a few of these people.
Awesome. Okay. So you want to have some occasional touches. They shouldn't be too frequent. Don't call them every single day.
Yeah.
Just be like, hey, we're here and, we do want to help. And, if you ever need us. Okay. Awesome. And do offers or discounts play into this, whether of actually saving the cancellation or of winning them back?
Yeah. A lot of people will, if you've really messed up, right? Again, people just want to be heard. And so maybe discounting that whole entire service that you messed up. Or maybe they just couldn't afford it, and like they lost their job. Like if they've lost their job, like of course you got to have some empathy here, right? So maybe you put them on hold for 3 months. Maybe
pause. Okay, that's a good one.
But maybe you still do their service because you want to show that act of kindness.
Yeah.
So maybe you still go a service and not charge them that quarter until 3 months later and they got a job, they're back on their feet because they still need pest control. So what are those things that you can think of that you can do for the customer to say, hey, man, I really understand. Like, I'm really sorry that happened to you. I wanted you to get back on feet. Can't let your house go, this long. Maybe you could reduce that monthly cost from $40 to $10 to keep their subscription, whatever. Just think through it, And then, so then let's say they have canceled and you want to get that customer back. This is the time where you want to send them a crazy offer because, again, you've already paid that customer acquisition cost.
Yeah.
Now you want to reactivate that and get as much LTV out of that as possible. So you want to get that revenue back from that client,
Yeah.
So you already paid for the customer acquisition cost. You're gonna want to, and you probably can give them a crazy offer here to jump back on board.
Yeah. Awesome. What would be a target win back percentage? I'm sure a lot of them, it's pretty small.
Low, yeah.
But
I would say, 3 to 5%, or I'd say 1 to 3% probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that low.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, it's retrospectively low, but if you have a lot of people canceling, if you're a big company like yours, then that ends up being a lot of accounts.
Yeah,
still,
for
right?
sure. So if your churn rate is, 2% a month and you can win back 2% a month, that's not terrible.
Yeah.
You're holding up with churn, So that's constantly what we're watching. And watching different offers, testing different offers here too. What works, what doesn't work. Again, specific times of year, issues that they're having, those campaigns that we're running. Like if it's mosquitoes are crazy and they cancel their mosquito service from last year, and then you hit them with a reactivation campaign in the middle of May when mosquitoes are crazy, like think through it, Like, oh man, I thought, why did I cancel that? Mosquitoes are terrible this year. We need them right now. So think through these campaigns that you can do throughout the summer, those pain points that you can hit on.
Yeah. And I want to get a little bit more tactical on like what exactly you're sending them. So is it almost like a newsletter and it's like, what's going on this season, or, maybe a different pest every month?
Yeah.
What should you be sending?
All the above, right? It's like, it's the nature and nurture where nature is like telling you what's going on out there. Right. And then you're like nurturing them to want to buy from you. So giving them discounts. You could say like actually real life problems that people are having, like tell them a customer's issue that they had that month. And then how you overcame that. Like walk them through the process of it all. Send off those emails. And then it's like the discounts, right? If you want to give them an offer, maybe you want to do a free initial, maybe you do a free inspection, maybe a free bait box install, like whatever they think can be to win back that customer to get them back on.
Sweet. And mainly email, but
text too. Text works great. Phone calls work. Yeah, absolutely. Like you want to do email campaigns, text campaigns, and you still want to call these customers too. Like again, let's say you have 1,000 customers that canceled in the past 5 years and they haven't been touched. Like it's so much untapped potential. Like in the off season, make sure your salespeople or yourself or you're reaching out to these people and just trying to connect with them.
And what do you think actually gets them to get one back? Is it that they see pests in their house again, or is that you made a really good offer?
It could be all the above too. Like there's not if or it's hard to say why they canceled too. Maybe they lost their job and they didn't want to tell you. Or maybe they weren't having issues, but now they have issues. Or maybe the tech pissed them off and they didn't want to tell you. Yeah. But you finally get a hold of them like, yeah, why did this? Oh, we didn't know. Sorry, you should have just told us that from the beginning. And like, oh yeah, most time they just want to be heard. And if you listen to them, you can usually solve that problem too.
Okay, so it might be like an embarrassing issue or something they don't want to fully share. Yeah. So partially it is just like a communication problem. Like, let's get really clear on why you're canceling.
Yeah, most people like they don't like confrontation at all. So they'd rather just send a text or email that they want to cancel, and you don't know why. And you try to call them, they don't answer, but then for some whatever reason they answered a text 2 months later or a phone call 2 months later. And they told you the real reason why, and you were able to fix it.
Yeah. And then what are the biggest mistakes here? I'm guessing just no follow-up at all.
Zero people do this. I shouldn't say zero. Very little people actually run a reactivation campaign or want to call their canceled customers. Like, I don't want to call that person. They're pissed off at me. It's like, these are the people that you want to reach out to because you've already paid for the customer acquisition costs. They've already seen your great service. They know your brand, but maybe you did something, maybe you didn't. You just got to figure out why.
Definitely. Awesome. I think this is a great episode on how to win back customers and ideally even save that cancellation before it happens. Great episode as always. Thank you so much for coming on, Jonas.
Yeah, man, anytime.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. I know that we really appreciate you guys taking the time with us here. If you guys have any questions, comments, make sure to throw them in the comment section below. And if you found this valuable, make sure to like and subscribe and to share with your friends who maybe own a service business themselves. Again, our goal here is to provide as much value to you guys as possible. Also, if you guys are really looking to grow your business, make sure to check out our website at pestcontrolmillionaires.com. We'll have the link below in the bio, and we'll also have a free school group for you guys to check out. So, thanks for watching.